Hi LEGO fans! It's the 19th of December and only 6 doors remain on our LEGO advent calendars. This time next week, Christmas will be all over and I can get back to making normal LEGO videos. But in the meantime, every day between now and Christmas we're opening up every door on every LEGO advent calendar, including LEGO City, LEGO Friends, and LEGO Star Wars. We're also going to be scoring each one of the gifts so we can find out which one has the best gift of the day, and ultimately which calendar is our festive favourite and which deserves to get coal in its stocking. The gifts we got yesterday were a pretty mediocre selection. From the LEGO Friends advent calendar we got this fireplace complete with cupcake waiting for Santa. I wasn't exactly sure what this was at first and it seems that it confused some of you guys too. Sarah Johnson and Eddie Stapleton both thought it could be a gingerbread house. And Velocity the Running Sloth aka Sloth Mom and Ryoko56J thought this could be a bake shop window. It was an attractive Christmas tree decoration, but a long way from being the best that LEGO Friends has to offer. This festive piece of wonder earned the LEGO Friends advent calendar 3 points. The LEGO City advent calendar delivered a micro-scale version of the 60180 monster truck set. It even came with a jump that didn't really work. I was impressed that they managed to pick out all of the main details, but overall as a toy it just wasn't very good. So the LEGO City advent calendar earned just 2 points. From the LEGO Star Wars advent calendar we got this First Order TIE Fighter. I was a little upset about the spoiler on the back of the box which revealed the exact day from which the TIE Fighter flew. But compared to the LEGO Friends and LEGO City gifts, I had to agree this was the best gift of the day. The First Order TIE Fighter earned LEGO Star Wars 5 points. And including the points for day 18, the LEGO City advent calendar is still in last place with 55 points. LEGO Star Wars is next with 61 points. And still out there in the lead is the LEGO Friends advent calendar with 64 points. The LEGO City advent calendar hasn't risen above 3rd place yet, so it's looking unlikely that we're going to see a LEGO City win this year. But LEGO Star Wars and LEGO Friends are very equally matched, and I think either of those could win, although secretly I think LEGO Friends might take it. But what magical festive fancies are we going to get behind door number 19? Let's open up some doors and find out! The first advent calendar we're opening today is LEGO Star Wars. Yesterday behind door number 18 we got a really cool micro scale TIE Fighter. So let's see what we got behind door number 19 today. And I've torn the door but we'll press on anyway. And we have... is that an AT-AT? No, it's an AT-ACT. Whatever one of those is. Next up we've got door number 19 on the LEGO City advent calendar. I wasn't very excited about yesterday's gift when I first opened up the door, but then I realised it was a micro scale representation of a monster truck, which was very cool. So let's go ahead and open up door number 19 and see what goodness we've got today. It is a collection of remote controlled cars. That's quite neat. And finally it's time for LEGO Friends and door number 19. This calendar has been going downhill in the past couple of days. We got a roller boot on the 17th, and yesterday we got some kind of cupcake oven. Or maybe it was some kind of cupcake wall stand that they use in Cupcake Wars or something. Hopefully things can only get better as we open up door number 19. So let's see what we've got behind door number 19. We have... oh my, what on earth is that? Well, if you know what that is, you're a better guesser than I am. I'm going to put this together and spend some time trying to figure it out. So here are all the gifts we got behind door number 19 on every LEGO advent calendar. From the LEGO Star Wars calendar we got some kind of robot camel. In fact this is an AT-ACT all-terrain armoured cargo transport, not to be confused with an AT-AT or AT-AT. From the LEGO City advent calendar we got a pair of remote controlled vehicles. Are they motorcycles? Are they cars? Who knows? And staying on top festive form, the LEGO Friends advent calendar gave us this gingerbread person Christmas tree decoration. As always we will be awarding points to each gift and we will declare a winner of the day. But before we do that let's take a closer look at each one of these little beauties in turn. Starting off with LEGO Star Wars, we have a micro-scale build of an all-terrain armoured cargo transport, aka AT-ACT. But I think this looks a lot more like a camel. And what's the deal with the Dayglow orange sides? An AT-ACT does have different coloured sides, but they're not bright orange, unless I'm missing something that is a totally bizarre colour choice. As well as having a catchy name, the AT-ACT has 4 articulated legs. There are points of articulation at the top, and points of articulation at the feet, and that gives you some interesting options when it comes to posing the all-terrain armoured cargo transport. The head of the camel, command center of the AT-ACT of course, is a tiny little construction snapped to the body. This is also kind of adjustable so you can pose the head, or whatever that thing is. Apart from the gaudy orange sides, it has a rounded back. And truth be told, that's about all we can say about the AT-ACT. It's a cute little micro scale build, and if you ever want to make a camel out of Lego, this is a good place to start. Next from LEGO City we have a pair of remote controlled vehicles. I use the word vehicle because I can't figure out whether these are bikes or cars. From the transparent pieces in the side, it's probably more likely these are going to be cars, especially because these things don't really have wheels. Two of these elements with round holes on the bottom here. Those kind of look like wheels, but not quite. They also make the remote controlled vehicles stand at a funny angle. I'm not sure if I'm missing something, and these are meant to be a micro scale build of a Lego set, but to me it just looks like a wonky remote controlled car. I do like the fact that we have colour coded aerials, although for some reason we don't have an aerial on the remote controllers, and a round black element which I'm sure is meant to be the joystick. The LEGO City Advent Calendar has suffered from a lack of imagination this year. These are no exception. Casting my mind back to 2015, I remember getting a pair of remote controlled cars. They weren't quite this design, but it's clear the concept was based on the same idea. We'll see how that affects today's scoring in just a moment. But before we do, here is today's gift from the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar. It's a gingerbread person Christmas tree decoration with no string, because LEGO Friends don't give out string for some reason. This thing doesn't really stand up on its own, so I've used a Lego brick attached to the back to help me film it. I did try and stand it up on its own, but it's very front heavy and it falls over. At the base, the gingerbread person stands on a couple of brown and white legs. These are made out of simple studs. The torso has some festive decoration in the shape of these red flowers and a green stud. It would have been super nice to get a printed face, but as you can see we've just got a plain round tile. And protruding above the tile is a place to tie a piece of string. The build isn't very elegant, and from the side you can just see that it's kind of sandwiched together. It's kind of semi-festive, but not up to the standard we saw in earlier gifts. I hope to see something better from LEGO Friends tomorrow. So those were the gifts for Wednesday the 19th of December, but the question as always is which one of these is the best? I've got to say I wasn't very impressed with the remote controlled cars. It was a nice idea, but these aren't very good builds, and it's a blatant rip-off of something that LEGO did in 2015. As you'll know from previous videos, that doesn't sit well with me, and I'm going to give the LEGO City Advent Calendar 2 points. The LEGO Friends Advent Calendar is doing really good this year. Pretty much every day we're getting a festive gift, and the quality of the builds is mostly very good. I really think they missed the mark today. The gingerbread person is kind of festive, but it's not nearly as good as other things we've had from LEGO Friends. And because of that, I'm going to give the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar 3 points. That means the micro-scale robot camel, the AT-ACT all-terrain armoured cargo transport thing, is going to take the day with a total of 5 points. But is it enough to put the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar back into the lead? The LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar is in second place with 66 points. That means the LEGO City Advent Calendar remains in last place with 57 points, and the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar remains in the lead by a tiny margin. They're out in front by 1 point at 67 points. But do you agree with today's scores? Was I remotely fair by giving the LEGO City Advent Calendar 2 points? Was 3 points a half-baked score for the LEGO Friends gingerbread person? Or do I deserve to spend the rest of my life on the desert planet of Tatooine for awarding the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar 5 points for this robot camel? As always, please do share your thoughts in the comment section below. I do enjoy reading them and I respond to as many as I can, and I know you guys have some lively debate down there as well. I will of course be back tomorrow as we get into the final days of Advent. We still have 4 more doors to open and any of these calendars can win. Well, it's a long shot for LEGO City, but miracles can happen. Thanks a million for checking out today's video. If you did enjoy it, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Have a fantastic Wednesday and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow.